You know, I've always thought this, and I'd love to know what you think, but this is my opinion. Have you noticed, for instance, when you have a major company, say something like John Lewis, right, which was run to the ground by Dame Sharon White with all of her Walkerati ridiculous ideas, that sort of stuff, somehow they seem to land another job. You know, they get another well-paid job because apparently these companies are just thrilled to have them on board, even though they virtually wrecked the previous company. I never understand it. Why would you want somebody on your board who can't run a business? The same could be said for this man over here in the United Kingdom. That's right, the current Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan. Now, as I've told you time and time again, he's just a self-publicist. He wants his name on the posters on the tube. He's continually wanting his name in lights like the Mayor of London Presents when it was the New Year celebrations. The man is an ego on legs. Not very tall legs, but nonetheless legs, right? But this just proves exactly why he truly is unfit to be the mayor of such a wonderful city, sadly in rapid decline under his leadership. Let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much as ever for joining me today. Yes, let me know seriously in the comments, have you noticed that? If you and I were in a job and we got fired for not being good at it, and maybe rightly so, you might say, we just would struggle to get a job. But seemingly, the bigger the sort of fall, the more money they give them. I remember that years ago with Marks and Spencer's, CEO there, absolute ludicrous, lost masses of money for the company, suddenly pops up as some kind of board director for another. You think, how do you do that? It's a bit like this. As I say, the Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, right, recently launched a 13-week programme over here via TfL, which is Transport for London. And the idea behind this was the fact that, well, we were going to have reduced fares on a Friday to try and entice people back into London, back to work, back shopping, maybe theatres, stuff like that. And this was a reduction, as I say, in the ticket price, so that, I think it started at 9:30 and went on for the full day. This, as you can see, cost absolute millions and has been an utter total disaster. Anybody looking at that as a business plan would have known the same thing. If you don't have money on a Friday, you don't have money on a Thursday. It doesn't matter what day that you've got, you either have to have an incredible incentive to lure people back. Perhaps the problem is, of course, under his leadership with knife crime rising, and even the other day just a 14-year-old boy stabbed to death on the top deck of a London bus, a terrible situation which is now suddenly becoming such a common occurrence. Well, what faith would you have in coming into this city, even late at night, to see a theatre show? But again, Sadiq Khan, not my fault. It was just a trial, a very expensive trial, like many of his schemes and plots and things, a little bit like the clean air thing that has proven to be absolute poppycock, simply doesn't work. But how long would many people survive in a job if they were sort of, shall we say, paid and looked at by the results that they achieved? If that was the case with this Mayor of London, he would have been long gone, wouldn't he? But when your boss, if you like, the chum that you have, is in the top role over at 10 Downing Street, they know they're going nowhere soon, wasting more and more of your money on these madcap schemes, all the while as the country nears bankruptcy. Interesting. I'd love to know what you think. Do you agree? Should they be removed if they're a failure after, say, 3 months or, say, 6 months? How long would you give it? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.